I always admired, Clint Eastwood and and Steve McQueen. I always want to make a movie as a tribute for these two great heroes. So, and then I made it. I love Steve McQueen in Bullet, and I also have a great love of Clint Eastwood in Dirty Harry. So, and then I just wanted to make another Dirty Harry. I just want to make another Hong Kong Dirty Harry. So. The crime in Hong Kong was so high at the time. So and a lot of things going on, a lot of bad things going on, and the gun smuggling was so popular, and also make people feel the gangsters have a much powerful weapon than the police, and make the police force look like look like a little kid, So, and that made me was pretty angry, So that's why I tried to make a movie, and try to create a new kind of hero, a man who have the guts, a man who has a great idea, to against the crime. I've heard something bad happened in Japan. It's there was a psychopath, and he put some kind of poison in the baby food, and some of the baby got killed. So that originally I tried to put that into the film, but we didn't do it because we didn't want to get a bad influence, for anybody, So that's why we changed into a undercover cop story. Originally, Tony Leung was the psychopath who was poisoning the little kid, or something. And but with Tony Leung, I think it may cause him a very bad image. So that's why we changed the whole idea, to become a undercover story. I have so much appreciate of working with Tony Leung. He's such a great actor. He's kind of like the method actor. When he play a psychopath, and he lives like a psychopath. And he think like a psychopath. If he play a undercover cop, and he behave like an undercover cop, and he had never he was very quiet on the set, because for his part, it's like a lone wolf, and he's kind of like a tragic character, and then he really brought in that kind of a loneliness, tragic, and misunderstanding hero into the film, and it became a big contract with Chow Yun-fat. That's unlike Chow Yun-fat. He's a very sometimes very delightful, sometimes very funny, but sometimes very serious, and sometimes pretty tough, So, and Tony Leung, he only got one direction, it's always lonely, So, he gave his great performance, and also he did a lot of great action as well. He's a very dedicated actor. He had never had any funny suggestion. He just do it. Whatever. I feel sorry about him. there was a one scene, and also it was happened in the hospital. They were seeing Tony Leung and Chow Yun-fat, and they were shooting the bad guy. Start from the first floor, and then while shooting, a lot of things blow up, and then there was a long shot, a long handheld shot, and then both of them went into the elevator. After the elevator closed, and then they talk a little bit, and then when the door opened again, they get into the second floor and still shooting. And there was the moment he's shooting with the bad guy through the glass wall. At that time, since we were we didn't have enough budget, so we were using the real glass, and then set up the explosion stuff. So while he's shooting with with the bad guy and blow up the all the glasses, and there's a lot of fragments, a lot of small pieces that get into the eye, and it's almost blind eyes. But they still continue to do the rest of the action. We still continue to keep shooting and running and shooting, wait until I get cut. Wait until I yell cut, and then he all of a sudden he fell. Said, oh, John, I have something in my eye. And then we took a look, at this a lot of and his eye got bleeding. So that's right across his eyes, and some of the little pieces get into his eyeball. And then we sent it to the hospital. The nurse are using the needle, stick it out, just stick it out. So as but fortunately he didn't get blind, but he just took 1.5 weeks for the rest, for resting, and then until he recovered a little bit, and he came back on the set. In Hot Boys, everybody work like a family. We all live in a big family. We care about each other, so that we love each other, and then we appreciate each other. So and all the crew, they love all the actors. So now, while I shot the end part of the movie, so. Supposedly, Tony Leung got shot. Got 100 bullets, got shot, and then he should die. But all of a sudden, all the crew, remember, they all protect. They all they said, no, Mr. Wu, you should let him survive. Such a good man. Such a great actor, such a good of a family member, you should let him alive. So, and then even some of my crew, they said they with tears. Wow! So that made me change the ending. That made me have changed. Tony Leung was alive at the end. It was on the boat sailing somewhere unknown. Just like the killer, just like Chow Yun-fat in The Killer, he's always like to stay in the church. The people keep asking why Chow Yun-fat, why the killer in the church, So it's the story was about redemption. That's the only play he could redeem himself. And that's the only place he could find himself. So since Tony Leung was an undercover cop, he got no friend, he got no family, and he couldn't telling the truth to anyone, and he's just like a lone wolf, So he only because I think only like the ocean is his only home. And he no need to face anybody. He no need to hear anything. He just That's the only place he could be himself. I said, even though it looks pretty tragic, but at least he could live in his own world, And then, so that's why we were using the ocean, water, anyway, and sometimes when I got lonely or frustration, I like to stay, by the side of the water. I like to listen to the voice of the wave, So sometimes I like music, but sometimes I like a pretty painful screaming, Even though I did try to make Chow Yun-fat look pretty much like Steve McQueen or Clint Eastwood, but Chow Yun-fat is Chow Yun-fat. Chow Yun-fat is a very emotional actor, and I couldn't make him look too cold. Chow Yun-fat himself, is a man with a great heart. He loved everybody, and he always tried to please everyone, and he also loved kids. So that's why I, besides wanted him to make him look like Clint Eastwood, and also show the true heart of Chow Yun-fat. And he also had a great sense of humor. He's also a funny guy. So I just wanted to, and that gave me the idea. I wanted to make a tough cop, also have a great heart, and also have a guts like Clint Eastwood, that kind of thing. Sometimes I use him to represent me. As I like to use him to speak for me. I was, I was wanted to be to be a man like him, but I couldn't do it. But I couldn't do it in real life. So I used Chow Yun-fat to speak for me. Of course, I've never killing anybody, but I like what I like about him is I want to be brave like him. I want to be taking care of the others, like him. I want to be have a guts to against the crime, to against the evil, just like him. So it means I only can do my dream on a screen, through Chow Yun-fat on the screen. Him and I is a very good friend. That it's sometimes it's about love and hate. I realize he loved me and hate me as well sometimes. In one scene, in a hospital scene, there was a moment I wanted him to holding the dummy babies running through the corridor, and I had set up about 12 bombs, blowing, blow up, just right behind him, as he on the run. So it was a pretty long corridor and a lot of explosion. So, and the shot is at the at the very end of the corridor. See him running at the camera, and and everything blow up at the same time. For the first take, and he started run and run until he ran off the camera. Then everything blew up. Well, I didn't satisfy. I said, no. I told him, what I want is all the explosions to be blow up while he's running. And then, but Weinstein guy and And especially the guy, I said they wouldn't do it. He said that because all they said that they didn't want to hurt Zhao Yunfan. I said that the shots have no danger. I mean, all the explosions are all fake. You know, just have some fire. You know, so what's so harm about that? You know. So I said, okay, let's reset the whole thing, and we gotta do one more time. You know, and put more dynamite. I want the explosion bigger. You know, and then give me the button. You know, I will press the button. So I mean, I will give the kill. You know. So we did it again, and then I hold the button, you know, and then when I just yell roll camera before I yell action, and then I press the button and start to blow the thing up. Zhou Yunfan was so scared, and he didn't realize the explosion was so big, and he didn't realize that the explosion was start so soon. So he was really ran for his life. He threw the gun, you know, just grabbed the dummy baby and covered himself and ran. So all the explosion was just blow. Right after his heel, and then after I yelled cut, you know, I was so happy, and then Zhao Yunfan, yeah, he was so angry, and then I have a little shaky, and he went to Terrence Chang, my producer, and he was so mad and complaining. He said, "John tried to kill me," you know. He said, "John really want it," you know, and then all of a sudden he turned to me with a smile. I was like, "Hey, John, are you happy with the shot? Is it okay?" I said, "It was a wonderful shot. That's what I need, you know." And then, okay, as long as you're pleased, you know, I'm happy. And then all of a sudden he turned, and his back of hair could burn, you know, and and he closed, and I still have smoke, you know, this is blew up. So. I said, "Oh, yeah, your hair got a little burned." "Oh yeah, it doesn't matter, John. It doesn't matter. You know, just keep going." And then he went into a room, changed, and he keeps screaming. So that's our friendship, you know. Mad Dog, this character, his part wasn't in the script. I was created on the set. You know, since I like Philip Kwok, means my stunt coordinator. I love him so much, and I like his work so much. He was so dedicated, you know. And then while we were shooting some of the big, huge explosion shots, you know, and for some of the stunt guys, they didn't want to do it, and he did it, and he. And the explosion almost blew him off, and the fireball, you know, all covers the whole body, you know. So I just wanted to show my appreciation. So I create that character Mad Dog for him, you know, as make him play the bad guy, the number one killer. But this killer, he had his principle, you know. He only kill the bad people. He never liked to kill the innocent, you know. So I think that's great for him, you know. And also is my kind of character, and also what I had believed, you know, just like Alain Delon in Jean-Pierre Melville's movie Le Samurai, you know. And then Alain Delon was the cool, you know, and cool killer, you know. But he also was a man with honor, you know. He just killed what he think he had to kill, you know. But he had never killed innocent, you know. That kind of character always amazed me, you know. And so that's how I did it for Mad Dog, you know. Actually, the tea house sequence was shot before we had a script or even have a story, you know, because it was the historical building, you know, when we heard the tea house and the whole building going to be teared down in 1 week. So since at that time we hasn't had a complete script, and we just get an idea. Wanted to make a cop story. So how about since it was a memorable building, so how about let's make a scene over there, and to keep the memory in the movie. So that was a very unusual tea house. The kind of a classic. Old-fashioned tea house. I mean, in the earlier time, all the customer they were bringing in the bird cage, and to the tea house. I thought it was fantastic, but that kind of costume doesn't exist anymore. So that's why I showed it. And then so when we went to the location. And then what I saw was there's a long staircase. And then all of a sudden I get an idea. How about let our hero sliding down from the staircase while he's sliding down and then shooting at the same time, kill a guy. It was fantastic. So because of that simple idea, that made me to create a whole scene. I said, how about if our hero is an undercover cop and then he was investigating something, but he was ambushed by a bunch of gun smuggler. That was great, so that and then we may have a scene, without a script, without a story, we just shot it. In Hard Boy, the body counts might be a little too heavy. I admit that in some of the actions moment was a little too long. When I'm shooting sequence, I have never counted. How many people got killed, and when is enough is enough, and that maybe too over, whatever, too much, So I have never cared about that. All I care is about the scene, about what I'm trying to say from the scene. At the beginning, we didn't know that how much we should kill. At the beginning, I just told the producer, okay, the first day, give me 30 guys. Oh, and everybody thought for the whole scene, the 30 guys is for the whole scene, So they bring in my stunt guy bring in the 30 people. So when I get into the scene, when I get into the mood, you know what? When I'm choreographing the scene, I usually put myself in the scene. So I rehearse everything by myself. I will imagine I was the killer or the hard boy cop. Or Joey and Fat. And by the meantime, while I'm designing the action sequence, I just feel myself was dancing, because I was using the musical theory to designing all the action sequence. Because I must say that I was a pretty good dancer when I was young. When I was about 16 or 17 something, so I've learned the ballroom dance, folk dance, and I also was even danced like John Travolta in the Saturday Night Fever, like that. So I just, when I my stunt coordinator, did the choreography, all the actions, I just feel like I was dancing with somebody, I always like those grand and big, ballroom dance. So a lot of people dress up, think the tango or waltz. I especially love waltz. So I just feel like. So when I designing action with my stunt guy, I just feel like dancing with my stunt guy. So I have never cared. I have never noticed how many people we should kill or how many people we already kill. The hospital was like hell for everybody. We rent the abandoned Coca-Cola factory. It's a big warehouse because it was all night scene, and then we were long hour shooting, so we have to darken everywhere. We have blocked all the window with a black shield, there. So, and then so it could allow us to for shooting the scene in day and night time, So we darkened everywhere, and everybody was stuck inside the hospital, and no one could get out. So and then we work 24 and 36 hours a day, and then we replaced the crew. It's every 9 hours. Whoever got tired, and then we got a new member came in and continue working. We got a room for the actors, and then just let them to get some rest. So we just walk and shoot, and I just have a 1 toothbrush with me, and sometimes we have a little sometimes have a sleeping bag, So it means that we live inside the hospital. After a month, everybody was so tired and frustrated, and nobody know when they could get out, and we never know the time. So whenever our catering people it's knocking the door and knocking the door and yell, the breakfast is coming, So then it's in the morning. So, and then whenever the catering people came in and bring food came in, it's dinner time, or maybe about 7 or 9, something like that. Every day was action, explosion, and gunfire, So everybody so tired, for myself, I just wanted to, make it faster. I just try to finish it. I came with the idea, how about let's do one new experiment. I want to do a 5 or 6 minute long shot, and shooting stuff from the 4th floor to the 2nd floor, and then to finish the scene. So and everybody's so excited, it's nice, and that cheer everybody up, And my stunt guy, the special effect, they're all exciting, and then so we start for 1 day, and then let them to design and set up all the explosion, and then since we only got 1 flat floor, and but we will figure out how to make it, look like the two floor, 2-story. So I came with the idea, how about when they fight, and they're going through the corridor, and after killing a group of people, and then when they go into the elevator, and then we came up with about 20 seconds dialogue. In 20 seconds, we changed the whole set. It's a change the set, change the people, and then change and clean up the wall, and move it out, and move the table, and set up the explosion stuff. In every one of my movies, I just wanted to do some kind of a new experiment. I think that was a pretty successful experiment in Hard Boiled. I love jazz, and I always wanted to use the jazz music in my movie, especially when I shot the Killer. I tried to use the jazz music for the whole film, for the entire film. But one of my producers, they didn't like the idea. I mean, and they all keep saying for the Hong Kong audience, they've never liked using jazz music for the movie, and so I can use it in the Killer. And then while we were shooting Hot Boy, since the Hot Boy was produced by my friend Terrence and me, so we control everything. So it could allow me to use jazz music for the film. Idea came from before we start shooting, I had interviewed a very tough cop. I have interviewed a very tough Hong Kong cop. It was a real person. He was brilliant. Means that he already passed away. That's pretty. He was a very famous, very tough, very likable cop. And he was very smart, and he had handled so many tough cases, and he also was pretty tough in the gang war. Even the gang people have known about him, and some people even a bit afraid of him. He was young and handsome, and tough like Clint Eastwood, just like Clint Eastwood. But but in the meantime, he was a musician. He loved music, and he was a drummer. He played drum very well. So that gave me the idea for Zhou Yunfan. He's a very tough cop, but he also loved music. So that's why I let Zhou Yunfan playing saxophone in a bar, and he was enjoying his own music.
Shit, Mr. Wu. Pity. What is it? That we didn't nail these jerks.
Sometimes I just feel, like as a filmmaker, just like a painter. After he paint a painting, and it's just like the painting is not belong to the painter anymore. And the painter is belong to the audience. To feel let them whatever they feel, So for myself, so after I finish film, the first thing is I have never looked back. I have never looked at twice. I just after I finish film, I just leave it for the audience. Let them feel what they feel. Let them see what they see. One of the reasons I have never liked to see my movie again, because I have never satisfied with any of my movies. Even though I have made quite a few of a popular film, I always find there are always some mistakes, some unsatisfaction in every of my movie. The other reason is that after I finish film after I just try to forget it. I just wanted to go another step, to work on another step, and try to create some other new thing. And try to looking for another perfect movie, which I have never could fulfill in my life. When Hot Boy released in Hong Kong, it was a pretty successful. It was a hit, but not as hit as like A Better Tomorrow or or The Killer, but it had made quite a lot of money. But what amazed me was I had never realized it was so popular in the West. I said, even though some people said that it was my best film I have ever made, and I said, whoever I met, they were just saying, they all just saying to me how much they love it and how great it was. I said, didn't you realize the film seems to be have the two story. It wasn't that complete, But people said, no, it was great, People keep saying how much they love the action, how much they love the character. And so I was so amazed, but they were totally unexpected. I would, and I thought the people in the West they would love The Killer the most. And then, but I didn't realize that there were so many people love Hard Boiled. It really surprised me. Hard Boiled is one of my favorite films. I love all those action and I love the characters. But I didn't. But I had never realized that it was so popular. The movie was made a lot of money and also had made a lot of fame. So I'm so glad. I'm so glad the people love the movies. Since my parole movie, Bullet in the Head was totally fair, and it didn't make any money and it didn't draw much of attention. So Hard Boiled seems to be a payback, So I'm so glad. Yeah.